Hello, everyone, and welcome to Community Update number 28, Closed Beta. So there's not a whole lot of info in this one. There's a lot of old info from the previous Community Update, but there's still some stuff. And real quick, before we continue, before we scroll, there are spoilers. So if you haven't encountered anything with the Dark Urge or done the Dark Urge questline, or even just know anything about what's entailed with that, there will be some spoilers in here because it addresses some bugs that they're fixing with the Dark Urge, and they kind of go into spoiler territory there. So you've been warned, and we're going to continue on. So the first thing is split screen is getting an update. Dynamic split screen mode is incoming. With our next update, friends will no longer be eternally confined to their side of the screen. That's pretty awesome, I suppose. When playing in co-op, you'll now have the option to have split screens merge into a single screen when you near one another, which is really awesome. That's really cool. And then I guess it splits if you go too far apart, so then you have your own screen, your own kind of world thing that you're doing. Excuse me. And apparently this is both in and out of combat. Then honor mode improvements. We're continuing to make improvements to combat in honor mode 2. With patch 7, even more creatures have been bestowed additional legendary actions, including the Boulette, everyone's favorite neighborhood surgeon, Malice Thorm, and Githyanki. However you say that. However you say those names. If anybody has the pronunciation for those, just leave that in the comments, because I have no idea how to even start. And then Dror Ragslin will now also be able to use a new spell called Arachnid Compulsion to rally the spiders that reside in the nearby pit to fight the real enemy, which is you. Which I thought that they, like, several patches ago, that they had already addressed this, or in a hotfix, to where I guess if he gets pushed down, they don't attack him. But it seems like this new spell will bring them up to the fight, because remember, they are in the pit below us. So it says to rally the spiders that reside in the nearby pit. So I'm assuming he somehow brings them from down below to up, which is kind of cool. Kind of interesting that they did that, because he's already a really tough fight for a lot of people. I did do a fairly recent video where I show how you could just kind of bum rush him. He just takes not really a lot of planning, but just kind of thought into. That's the first fight, in my opinion, in the game where it really kind of makes you think about where your characters should go, what they're good at, and how you should apply certain things, affixes to people, looking at their saves, their modifiers, and then really thinking about the environment. That's the first fight, in my opinion, that really kind of makes you do that. But once you kind of intuitively grasp that, you can kind of bum rush that fight. But I do feel like it kind of sucks, because a lot of new players have a lot of problems with that. That's like a major roadblock in the beginning. But anyway, continuing on, the Baldur's Gate 3 modding toolkit. So with this update comes the official modding toolkit as detailed in the last community update. Of course, they have a modding FAQ you can look at. So, and that will go over exactly what can be accepted, what won't be accepted, what will be accepted into consoles and what won't. And so here's all the different things that you can. If you were brand new to modding, you can change anything about a game, really, but the modding toolkit won't allow you to modify the levels themselves. So that's there's a lot of restrictions, and the modding FAQ will take you through all that. Evil endings. Now here is where we go into spoiler territory. There's going to be several new cinematics that offer your more evil playthroughs a grander finale. So I have been waiting to do a real evil like playthrough. I have done like some evil things like, but I haven't completed a run on the evil side. I've massacred the Grove and a bunch of other like stuff like that along the way, but I've never actually finished a campaign evil. So I'm super excited for this to start it. Dark Urge bug fixes. Along with the new evil ending cinematics coming this patch, we've introduced a number of improvements and bug fixes for our Dark Urge players, ironing out camera pops, missing inspiration, VFX, and a few other issues. I wonder what missing inspiration. I can't wait to get a little bit more details on that, on what exactly is missing. For instance, a bug has now been fixed when combat sometimes fails to trigger in the event that you decide to murder one of your companions as the Dark Urge and attack the party. This will now lead to combat with the rest of the gang, and Minthara will now respond accordingly if you've been stripped of Baal's influence. I don't know what that means. Does that mean she attacks you? Does that mean she approves of you? Like, being able to think on your own? I have no idea. We may, and then this one's super exciting, we may have also let a certain bard now join the party as a controllable character if there's an empty slot. Temporarily, of course. That's awesome. I don't know when you'll be able to recruit her, like maybe as soon as you find her? I forget her name for some reason, it just kind of escapes the my tiny little pea brain, but that's really exciting that we'll be able to recruit her. Hopefully it's early, because when she comes to your camp as the Dark Urge, as soon as you long rest, I mean, she dies. So hopefully you get her a little bit before then, right? And then about kissing Gortash. Well, he's a complicated guy who's busy contemplating the minutia of death cult office politics. And baby girl doesn't have time to kiss. That's fantastic. What a line. And then a bunch of origin character bug fixes, which is awesome to see. So, of course, the normal things like clipping issues, broken triggers to quest, dialogues, romances. But we're going to start off with Will highlights. A heap of fixes for Will, ranging from improvements to his dialogue, reactivity, to fixes for romance scenes. So if you've experienced issues triggering the romance scene with Will, this update will fix that. Should your relationship be headed in that direction, the cutscene in question will now trigger when you speak to Will at camp before your long rest. That's awesome. A bug that has been preventing his romance greeting from triggering has also been fixed. So players in Act 3 who have a stable, loving, and committed relationship with Will now see his romance greeting triggering correctly. Excuse me. And then fixing some dialogue reactivity. Awesome. And then during the epilogue stuff, Astarion highlights improvements to the facial animations for your character during some kissing cinematics, including with the Ascended Astarion. That's awesome. Companions will show Astarion more empathy when he loses his ability to withstand sunlight. That's cool. Lae'zel highlights. Lae'zel will now wait a little longer at her recruitment site if you tell her you'll be returning. And once she's set up at camp, she will also cycle through more varied idle animations. This update will also put an end to an annoying issue where resurrecting Lae'zel on the beach in Act 1 would cause her to appear in the party line, but not in the world, blocking you from leaving Act 1. That sounds pretty severe. I have not encountered that because I've never resurrected her on the beach in Act 1. I'm assuming if she dies to the but that wouldn't be on the beach. Well, I don't know. I've never encountered that bug because I've never had to resurrect her. So, but that's good because that's a major blocker. Like, I mean, at least you didn't get that far in the game. Honestly, you just got through the basically the tutorial ship, and you got there. But yeah, but that's great that that's getting fixed. Karlach highlights. Along with some general fixes for Karlach, she will now react to Daemon if she finds him dead after he told her that he can help her. That's awesome. I know that that's been brought up a few times. I've personally like read this on Reddit a few times. It's like she doesn't react at all. You know, now she will. It's awesome. That sketchy fade to black that follows her final scene in Avernus, which also unintentionally gave you a very brief glimpse of the region in gameplay mode, was a visual bug that has also been fixed. That's cool. And then she was brushing the wrong side of her head, so now she'll fix that. And then some quick Gale stuff, camera angle fixes. The panel, so the donation box has been fixed. They removed it because of missing UI functionality. So now it's coming back, and it's going to be better. It's going to be how they wanted it originally, but now with the UI. And then also some important stuff. Some selecting I'm not giving you anything, not now, not ever, will still cause Gale to leave your party forever, which goes along with this. So if you deny Gale a magic item 3 times in a row with magical items either on your person, your party's inventories, or now from your traveler's chest, he will leave your party. Okay. Fixed up a bug that was preventing final dialogue between Gale and Mystra. Shadowheart highlights, animation bugs. This one that saw the Spear of Night either not being received or being spoken about as if it hadn't already been acquired is no more. Another bout of amnesia has also been fixed, in which Shadowheart occasionally thought Viconia was still alive after killing her. So tweaking some kissing scenes for her too, so that's great. Party banter improvements. This is specifically for multiplayer parties. So now if you're in a multiplayer group and you're controlling origin characters, they'll now have banter between each other, which before they did not. Baldur's Gate 3 toolkit closed alpha progress. So it's just a small little update, and then some mods that are, or mod authors that are working on the toolkit. So I'm not too familiar. I honestly don't really look at mod author names when I go and download a mod. I never have, even throughout all my my years of modding, like Skyrim and stuff like that. I see cool mod, I recognize the name of the mod, not really the mod author. But for those of you who recognize these individuals, that's awesome. Especially like this one right here, which I thought was kind of interesting. Let's see, which one was it? I think it was this one here. Yeah, the Faerun colors. So before, they would have to do it all in code to do different colors, and then run the game multiple times to see how the colors looked. So apparently now with the toolkit, they can see exactly the color that they want, and they don't have to go back and forth between the game. They can just see it, which is cool. So tasks that used to be tedious, like creating icons and registering them within the game, have now been transformed into easily understandable and usable menus, which is awesome. Because remember, from the last video, you can use the toolkit to create mods, even if they don't get published on the official mod store in game, where you can just download them with a click. You can still use the toolkit to develop the mod and then publish it onto Nexus Mods or wherever you want to go to, which is awesome. So now this just makes a lot of stuff easier, which is really great to see. And then the closed beta, July 22nd. So if anybody is interested in playtesting patch 7 with all the bug fixes, updates to gameplay, new features, and just to test things. This is really important. So if you want to go on there and you're actually earnestly wanting to play test it to make patch 7 as good as it can, because remember, they're not going to be developing this game and supporting it forever. So we want to make what is probably the last patch, 1 or 2 like patches left, as good as it can be. Sign up for the playtesting, which you can on the store page. It's really easy. Just navigate to the page and then you scroll down and there's a button that says sign up for playtesting or something like that. It says something with playtesting. It's a little green button. You can click it and then you'll be signed up, and then you'll get a notification in your email. And of course there's new merch, which is cool. And then it says it ain't goodbye just yet. So it's been almost a year. Patch 7 won't be the final update to Baldur's Gate 3. There's a few things left, like annotated in the last community update. They want to bring in a photo mode and crossplay. So crossplay and photo mode are still coming. It's just not going to be in patch 7. It will be in a later patch. So with that, that's everything. This update, if you want to read it in full, is on the store page. Just go to the news section or something like that, and you'll see community update number 28. And with that, I'll see you all next time.